Good day, fellow rockers and monsters. Welcome to the Metal Connection, the connection to all things metal. I'm JDub, and today on the show we're doing a Grand EOS Static X ranking, basically a Wayne Static X ranking. And I've got some guests here with me. We got PTB Empire, Pause here with us, and Clint Cthulu. And so yeah, a full Static X album ranking. I'm not sure if you guys included the Wayne Static solo album, but we'll get into that. We'll save that. I personally did include it, so that's actually good that you kind of chimed in and said you didn't. So that's kind of interesting to know. But I definitely ranked it. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to start off by saying anything about Wayne, or just kind of get into it here, or.
So Wayne is, I mean, he's a huge inspiration for not only many artists out there, but including myself. His high-pitched screams, his high-pitched false chords are just their signature. There's no one else out there that can sound like him, or that could sound like him, even to this day. He's just one of the most unique singers out there, just like Lane Staley, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, all those fucking legends that we know, guys, including this motherfucking legend right here, Burton. But Burton's gone. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. Rest in peace, Wayne, and rest in peace, Tara, to his wife.
Yes, very much so. You know, like, I agree with you. You know, Wayne was an influential, man. Definitely a fun fact about him before we start the video. We share the same birthday.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
That's cool.
Yeah. We had the same birthday, November 4th.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, I was like, I was listening to it. I was skimming through. I know all the Static X albums fairly well, so I was kind of just re-skimming through a bunch of them today to just have them all fresh in my mind. And I was just trying to think of a way how I could describe some of his vocals, like his unique vocals that we're kind of known for on the first album, right? Push It and things like that. It's kind of that hyper scat vocal, like a hyper scat type vocal, right? Or something like that along those lines. But I was trying to think of a way to describe it, and it's really hard to describe, right? It's like that hyper scat kind of, I don't know, that's kind of all I could think of really of how to describe it. So I might use that term a few times later. But yeah, how would you describe it? You described it better there. You kind of you were.
So go ahead, Clint. Yeah, I'll explain after Clint.
Sorry, you go ahead. My bad.
So I've been singing for close to 19, 20 years now, and I've just learned by myself in the car, in the shower. Basically, I'm giving lessons right now to vocalists that want to learn how to sing. So if you're interested, come to my channel, watch the fucking album vocals or whatever. Fucking the Vocal Fathom is what my series is called. But I'm not here to fucking advertise myself, right? High-pitched screams are considered fries. If they do not have a note on them, then they're just considered fries. If they have a false chord has a note plus a scream. So a false chord will have a note in it. So for example, he's a loser, she said. That is a false chord, right? And then yeah, that's just a fucking fry, okay? There's no fucking note there. So, but yeah, that's just a perfect example I can use.
Very much so. That's a very good example. Like I couldn't have said it better myself, being a vocalist myself too. It's kind of a cross between the two, and very much so.
And right, definitely. I guess I would have to reiterate or something. Like when I meant like scat, I don't mean like the style. I just meant like it's just kind of like the way he's doing it very fast. Like it's like almost like a way a vocalist would be in the studio. He doesn't actually have words. He's kind of just scatting along with the beat. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's going so fast, like he's going like almost scatting along. And then eventually, he obviously came up with words to go along with the actual beat, but. It was just like, it's such a fast delivery. It's so fast that I couldn't even describe how. Like
it's new metal, dude. Rap plus metal.
Right, yeah, right. Like people would be confused. Like, is he rapping? Is he, what kind of vocal is that? Right? It's like a very
It's
hyper,
scats.
a hyper rappy kind of fry scatty vocal. Like it's very
Yeah, it's
interesting. Right?
scats for sure.
Like not very many. Going back at the time, 1999. No, not very many people really heard it. Like not many people were really doing that style. It was very new. But anyway, yeah, let's kind of get into it before we kind of talk ourselves out of Static X. But maybe I'll just go first, and just go first. And I actually had this. I didn't actually originally have this album last, but I did shift it last, kind of as I was reevaluating everything. So I'm going to put the Wayne Static solo album Pig Hammer last, and it's more or less a Static X album. I think he was just going through some. The band was trying to sue him for the name, and they were just having band name anyway. So I won't get into that too much. But this album actually is not bad at all. I don't think it's bad. There's actually a lot of cool moments. Actually, really cool kind of like chill kind of vibe. I was actually listening to it while I made dinner, so it's just like a really nice kind of chill vibe kind of thing going on. It is missing the kind of backup vocals that Tony Campos is known for, like the really cool, brutal death metal vocals that he's always supplying to all the rhythm grooves. So we are missing Tony Campos vocals and kind of some unique things that's going on in some of the other Static X albums, but it still is a decent album nonetheless. Like Assassins of Youth is cool. Static Killer's cool. She is cool. Chrome Nation's all right. So it is a decent album all in itself. I still listen to it and I jam it. So it's not bad by any means. So I just, again, with these rankings, you have to stick something last. And this one's going to be last for me, just slimly. Just because when I was re-listening to what I originally had last, I was like, okay, well, at least whatever I had last, it kind of has like the elements of Static X within it, like the backup Tony Campbell's death metal vocals that we're kind of known for and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone else ranked that. If you ranked it, maybe go, and if not, we'll have to cycle back and so things level out. But yeah, Clint, did you rank or maybe we'll go for your next pick, I guess.
Mine.
If I end up winning,
1 second, be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just
Should we
gonna say,
wait on him, Jamie?
it doesn't. He didn't rank it, so it sounds like we'll be like one turn ahead of him, but we'll level out near the end of the show. So yeah, you just go. Just your turn next, and then we'll figure it out later.
All right. My last place is probably Cannibal.
Well,
Cannibal is. I mean, I remember when I first bought that CD when it first came out. I bought that day one. I was so excited. And it was just, there was something missing. It just seemed like the passion was kind of, it seemed like it had a little more electronics. It didn't seem musically as aggressive. It just seemed like, you could tell the members were kind of shifting at that time. Their personalities were kind of clashing. And to me, it just didn't seem like the lyrics were as good as the previous albums on that album. To me personally, just, but it just, like, with Wayne, there's no bad albums at all, but if I had to rank something last, that's it. Yeah. You got to say anything about it?
That's not a surprise. Not a surprise.
I mean, did I say anything wrong about it? Like that you want to comment on?
Basically, you're not off with the pick. Obviously, like it's going to be basically my next pick. Long story short on that, but you were saying I think it's actually heavier than maybe you're giving it credit for. It's just maybe not as memorable. Some of the hooks and choruses aren't kind of what we're kind of know. It's not as memorable. But I definitely think the heaviness is there. It is really heaviness. But some of the other things I want to say about it, I'll save till my turn. But yeah, definitely seeing Cannibal as your bottom choice is not a surprise. I don't think. maybe a surprises boss. I'm not
I
sure,
still
but
think it's a really cool artwork. I love the artwork though.
yeah, well, actually, what's funny is I have a female friend there in Toronto, and she got that tattooed right kind of in between, like in the middle of her chest, right to fill space right here, and yeah, it's kind of or on her throat or somewhere right there, and yeah, really crazy.
That was my last place. So just kind of give you a heads up.
Oh, so Clint, you already went. Okay, so
Yeah.
you picked Cannibal as your
Yeah,
last.
so we'll hand it off to you if you're ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to go, man. I just had to get my breakfast. Sorry. So are we doing, first off, are we doing the best albums of all time, or are we doing the top 5 ranking?
Just ranking them all, bottom to top. Yeah.
Okay. As my last pick, I'm just gonna pick Wayne Stack's solo album because I've never really sat around and heard it. I heard one song on that album. I can't remember what it was. It was their most popular song. I can't remember. I'm not something. I can't remember what it was.
Youth, I think, might have had a video for it. I think it's
that was the only song I've heard on that album. But I'm not too familiar with that. I'm not too familiar with that album at all. So that's why I'm putting it on my last. Sorry to be like, yeah, I don't know any songs on that album. It will come on the channel one day. Obviously, right? If I have room, I can make my own picks for the channel for album reviews. But yeah, as of right now, I have never fucking heard it, so it's going last on my list.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's not a surprise either. Yeah. I like it. I enjoy it. It's a good album. You can play and jam. Again, it's not as I think that's why I did. It is a nice, really enjoyable album, but originally I did slot Cannibal slightly over his solo album just because I do think Cannibal does have at least those touches that we're known for with Static X, with Tony Campos, those kind of backup, really killer backup vocals that he does. But right off, as soon as you hit play on the CD, on the album, you can kind of tell it's kind of missing that super tight mix. That super tight mix that we're kind of known for. So, it is kind of, the production's a little uneven at times. It's not super tight. So there is that. I did notice that. But other than that, I'm just going to look on the back here. We got No Submission is a cool song. Killer guitar solo. Actually, on No Submission, I noticed there was a guitar solo on No Submission. So, and actually, I did notice overall, Clint was saying he didn't think the album was heavy. I actually found this heavy. Actually is. This album story is really heavy. Again, it's just some of the songs aren't as memorable, so that's why it is near the bottom for me. If he was able to just have some of the magic and just have some of the really magical choruses and more memorable songs, this could have been really up there, and then obviously a better, tighter mix production, so to speak. But anyway, yeah, I'll keep going on some other killer songs I liked. Chemical Logic, lots of cool stuff going on in Chemical Logic. Reptile, actually, Reptile I kind of used to kind of skip over it, but upon review, actually just today, I realized that Reptile is a really killer track. Electric Pulse has a really classic kind of Static X vibe on it. And again, on Electric Pulse, another killer guitar solos. That's something that people wouldn't really think with Static X, but there's actually some killer guitar work on this album. So again, kind of review that. And then we got the last song near the bottom here, Goat. Goat has a really cool big guitar march going on there, like almost like a Rammstein guitar march or something like that, like that big guitar, march.
That sounds interesting.
So Goat, that's a cool song on Goat, but there we go on that. Cannibal is decent, definitely worth a listen. So Clint, we'll find out your next pick.
I'm going to put these two because I haven't really, I couldn't put these two, couldn't decide what to do. Is his solo album, the solo album and Project Regeneration kind of together, because I haven't really listened to Project Regeneration that much. I've only heard the couple of the singles, and the solo album, it was good. But yeah, there was, you are missing, the core members, and it just, I mean, they couldn't have gotten anybody better to take, Wayne's place than Edsel Dope. He really does a justice and pays tribute to Wayne, which is kind of cool, but it's still, you still do miss Wayne's iconic vocals.
Well, I'd love to actually find out how much of his vocals were actually used on the album. We don't actually really know. Obviously on the first, there's certain songs and verses you can definitely tell it's him, but some of the screams and fries, we don't know if it's him or Edsel's just doing, basically not mocking, but
yeah.
My turn.
Not mocking, but
Yeah.
and then Pig Hammer, at least you listened to it, but you ranked it over Cannibal, so that's interesting to note.
All right. So, a couple things about this real quick. I'm picking Cannibal for my next pick because, number one, this is the very first album that I saw Static X tour on. I got to see Static X live, and actually the bass player, Tony Compa, signed my left Stefan Marbury shoe. It was a black shoe that he signed the very top of it. I was like, hey, dude, can you sign my shoe? And I don't know who you guys are, but you sound sick. Never heard of him before. Until then, and I got really, really into him whenever I started listening to Shadow Zone, Start a War, Wisconsin Death Trip, all that shit, man. Fucking the greatest of the great albums. But yeah. Cannibal is going to be my next pick because I've only heard 3 songs on this album. Reptile, Cannibal, and Destroyer. Not really one of my favorite albums. I do have to say that. It's just it's a little bit too experimental on the approach, and I'm not really feeling that. Like, I prefer the more new metal, hardcore breakdown crap that they brought in the past. And just to not hear that on this album, it's just kind of like, it's pretty bad. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. So that's why I'm picking it as my next to last pick.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's fair. I definitely think it's definitely worth checking out. Or there's some good stuff within it. Again, just my few gripes about is just the mix. Like, he probably should have hired a better mix guy to do it proper. And then
the low end was not there. When I listened to this album, it was just too much mids and too highs. There's no low end at all. There's no, like, when I listen to music, I want to feel that fucking bass pedal. I want to feel that fucking bass guitar. I want to hear that shit. I want that low end in the music because it adds depth to the music. You need mids for clarity, and you need highs for fucking frequency. But yeah, mids are clarity because that's where your vocals will be, and some of your toms will be in the mids too. But your low end is your bass pedal, your bass guitars. And mids is also guitars too. Your higher end depends on your cymbals and your solo work on the guitar too, and the high pitched screams, obviously. But going into an EQ perspective, this album didn't have a good EQ for mastering and mixing, in my personal opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah, I have some uneven stuff, and I'm not usually very fussy. Like, I listen to hardcore and just demos and just really crappy stuff. So I even took note of that. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a little, you could have hired a better mixer because that's the main thing about Static X. Like, it's got to be really tight for it to kind of work and all that stuff. But I guess we'll go on to me next, and hopefully this doesn't disappoint anyone. But next for me is Shadow Zone. So what does it be? third bottom up anywhere, third round anyway.
Wow.
But anyway, so I guess what do I say overall other than picking out some songs, but there is some less memorable songs on this album, I find. Like, I think kind of like New Pain kind of just goes by humming and hot, like, and Dead World, you know what I mean? Like, there is kind of some but anyway, Some key standout tracks for me. I made kind of a little note here, some standout tracks, but we had Destroy All, obviously, and Destroy All.
Track.
You know, we got Tony Campos just doing some incredible backup vocals.
Love
there.
that fucking shit, man.
Totally draws me in. Just some death metal vocals going on. It's just chaos kind of going on, but really cool industrial sounds going on. But anyway, Dead World, we have just kind of that classic Static X, some killer industrial keyboard sounds going on background.
All in Weight, dude. That's my favorite song on that album. All in Weight. Fucking love that track.
I didn't make that as one of my notes for one of my favorite. Monster, I wrote down Monster is a super hyper frenetic kind of, it's almost like a hardcore jam almost. I was listening, I skimmed back to it a few times. I'm like, it's actually like hardcore in a few spots. So I wrote down something like this hyper frenetic hardcore jam, Monster. And the Only is like this kind of, it's not like super this banger, but it's like this mid-paced, right? If anyone is familiar with the Only, it's like this mid-paced kind of majestic kind of gallop through the kind of future, I don't know, sort of gateways, pathways sort of thing. So it's like a cool wonderful mid-paced tune. And then I made note of Kill Your Idols. Obviously, I had to make note of that one. Has this really cool kind of guitar march. That's all I could think of. It has this really cool guitar march on it, almost like a Rammstein. That's like that really cool guitar march. So yeah, there we go. Shadow Zone. Clint, you're up next.
I'm probably gonna make a lot of people mad with what I'm about to pick.
Start a war.
Wisconsin Death Trip.
Oh, geez, wow. Oof.
Wow, dude.
Hey, we're not laughing. We're laughing with you, but man.
Yeah, like I mean, I love the album. Like you know, when you get to these ones, you know, it's hard. You know, they're all incredible. Just like that album. Like, you know, I really respond a lot to lyrics a lot more than most people. And if you paid attention to the lyrics on that one, there's like a lot of like, you know, him talking about doing drugs on that album lyrically. And I just kind of didn't connect with it at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I mean, it has great songs and everything like that, but it just, you know, like when I was younger, whenever it first came out, like I loved the sound of it. Just, you know, the lyrics were like just not my thing. And just the next two, I'll get more into those two, why they mean so much to me in a little bit. But yeah, it's overall a great album. It's just, I like the next two a lot more. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, that's interesting. Yeah, that's actually cool. That's kind of why we do these, just to kind of just get different fan points, opinions, and again, these aren't set in stone. It's like there is no official ranking. These are all just for fun. This is all just for fun. There is no official ranking. It's not like a sports team where there's official or everything's official. So this is all just for fun. So again, that's what this is all for. Like a Static X fan may stumble across this show in the future, and they're not like taking this as the Bible, but they're just enjoying other people talk about the bands we love and this particular Static X, right? Like, so that's kind of what this is all about, and yeah, hopefully people dig it in the future and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, cool pick. Definitely a shocking pick. Definitely wasn't expecting to see that so soon.
This is why I love doing this stuff with Clint, because he has such a mix of like completely popular opinions. And when we did the Lamb of God ranking, he had a lot of albums that were some of my favorites, and I was like, wow, there's actually people out there that don't agree with me on the favorite albums. And I picked Raph as my favorite, and he picked that as like a dead last. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Raph was one of my favorites.
What was the one you picked last? Ashes? It was Ashes, right?
New American Gospel.
Oh, okay, yeah. But on the topic of
Burns, and as Palaces Burns was definitely, you know, one of my least favorites.
Was I there? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, dude. All that stuff.
But like,
Wrath is like.
I was like, we did Lamb of God. I mean,
Too. Wrath is like my second favorite. Sacrament and Wrath are like God tier.
we did Lamb of God. I guess we did.
All right, man. Well, the next pick for me, Cult of Static. Again, another album. Never listened to it. Never fully listened to it. Terminal's good. Stingray is good. Skinned is good. But those are the only tracks that I've actually sat down and listened to. I think they did a cover on this album too, Talk Dirty to Me, and Still the Night. That was White Snake. I think Talk Dirty to Me is that Rat? I can't remember.
It was Looks to Kill, and I was going to bring that up, yes.
Oh, there's three covers.
It was Motley Crue, Looks to Kill.
Oh, there's 3 covers on this album then. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one that I had was not on this one.
Talk Dirty to Me that's Poison. Talk Dirty to Me is
Poison.
Poison.
There was Looks to Kill, Motley Crue on his bonus track. But,
yeah, I thought that was a pretty unique approach on this album. I love the EQ way better on this one than Cannibal.
This
just, again, the low end is just there on this album, and this has to be in there when I need to get to on my channel. I got so much shit to get on my channel on the album reviews. It's ridiculous, man. I think I reviewed maybe 400 albums so far in 3 years, maybe 350. I can't remember. Some shit like that. It was stupid crazy, guys. But yeah, this album was way better than Cannibal, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'll try not to get way up. It's clear we all like this album because you're the first person to say this, so you're the first person to mention that album. So we're definitely getting into the thick of it and into the the top. I think we're in my top 4s. So that's cool. Did I get all mixed up, Sean Miner around? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go up next, and next for me is Project Regeneration, and they did a hell of a great job on this. And to be honest, when they announced this whole project, when all this thing was getting announced and coming out,
hell of a comeback.
I wasn't really expecting I didn't place super high expectations on it. For whatever reason, I just didn't have super high expectations. I kind of just didn't really get super hyped about it. And then when the singles kind of dropped, I was like, wow, they sold me on this. And just kind of did their attitudes behind it, like how they kind of had that secretive singer and they weren't saying the name, and just because they didn't want the attention to be on the singer, they want the attention to kind of be on the memorial of Wayne. And I kind of just like the respect that the approach that they were doing, and the singles were good, and I was just on board with it. And then so when the album actually came out, I was like, man, this album's actually great. How much Wayne's voice is actually used, we don't actually know. Like, for sure, we can hear him a lot on certain verses and things like that. Some fries and screams, we don't know if that's actually him. So it's a patched together album, but I definitely do need to note that the classic producer that did their first album, Wisconsin Death Trip, produced this. So he mixed and mastered it. Ulrich Wild. So right off the bat, we are getting this perfect, great mix. So even though it is kind of a patchwork album, they did hire the right guy for the job to get it done right, to kind of to do Wayne right, to do Wayne proper. So definitely need to mention that we're.
What's up, Damage? Damage is watching right now, Jamie. Welcome, dude.
And then great mix to start off the album. So that's a good note already. Then we got Terminator Oscillator. Love the industrial kind of sound that's going on there. Kind of has like that. If anyone remembers the movie Blade, there's like that club electro scene from Blade, and like a do. So it has like that, almost like that club electro Blade thing going on Terminator Oscillator. Love that one. That's actually probably one of my more favorite Static X songs ever. Actually, is Terminator Oscillator. So if anyone's hasn't checked that out, definitely go check that out. Make note of that Terminator Oscillator. And then what did I write down? What did I got here? I got Accelerate. Accelerate. Definitely benefits of having like the original members work on this album on Accelerate, because you can definitely hear all the all like Tony Campos and the bassist. What's Ken Susi? No, not Ken Susi. That's Unearth. What's his name? Ken, isn't it?
I'll look it up.
You look it up anyhow. I'll keep babbling or whatever. Yeah, it's Ken whatever. Ken something like that. But anyway, you definitely can tell.
Koichi Fukuda.
Yeah, definitely having like the original band members working on this album, you can hear that their added touches are working. Definitely on Accelerate and Terminator Oscillator, a bunch of these tracks, you can definitely tell the difference between this and Pig Hammer, for example. That it's those added touches in the background death vocals and things like that. So Bring You Down's great too, and then we got Ostigo Placebo. That's an ambitious track, actually. If anyone wants to check that over, track number 10, Ostigo Placebo. Really ambitious track for just
Ostigo Placebo.
Yeah, very ambitious track for the band in general.
Never listened to that.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's ambitious. Like, it's kind of like progressive, not like progressive and technical that sort of way, but for Static X's realm, it's very ambitious. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a banger. It's a crazy track. Like, it's crazy ambitious track. Fucking, it's a banger. So I ranked that one over Shadow Zone. So yeah, I think it's a pretty decent effort, respectable output. So moving along.
You know what the best thing about that is, Jamie? About that album?
Yeah.
The best thing about that album is that it's only volume 1. So there's going to be a volume 2 coming. Which is fucking cool as shit, man.
Well, yeah, and also, you know, to go along with that is I'm wondering, they probably used every last little bit of Wayne verse, of Wayne singing, any little last tidbit they could use. So if they've already used every little tidbit they could use, what can they use on volume 2? Is like,
exactly. They wrote a lot of shit that they didn't release, apparently. So
yeah, I guess what I'm wondering is would volume 2 have any of Wayne Static's voice, or are they completely dry and it's going to be completely original?
I think that
we're working off some of his ideas on some of this, you know what I mean? Like some of his
thoughts on this, Jay. My thoughts on this are that I think that they had so much written material that they had enough to write maybe 4 albums. Just like fucking Linkin Park had Gray Days, or fucking Chester had Gray Days. It's the same concept. Like, bands never stop writing. Once you start writing, you never stop. If you stop writing, you're fucking up. Period.
Well,
there's writer's block. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hopefully, when the album comes out, hopefully there's news that like Wayne's voice is patched into the album. You know, at least in some sort of fashion, right? You know. Mm-hmm. So as long as they can patch his voice in there and rough demos or just whatever.
I love the whole idea of Edsel wearing the skull mask and acting like it's Wayne. That is so fucking cool, dude. Like that live stage presence. I watched some live shows of that and I was like, holy shit, he sounds just like Wayne. Like, holy fuck, this is awesome. So I can't wait to see them live when I come back to the States. It's definitely going to be a band I'll be going to see.
Yeah, that's a weird thing because I still think they're not like admitting it's Edsel, but then everyone actually knows it's Edsel.
Everyone fucking knows it is. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows, but then they're still not admitting it. And then even in I think the album notes, it says Edsel Dope. But then I just don't think. I think they're just trying to be respectful and not talk about Edsel because it's not about him. It's supposed to be about Wayne. So I definitely understand that's their side of the story. But yeah, we'll keep going on with that. And Clint, I believe. Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, I actually honestly forgot about Cult of Static. I actually kind of forgot about that album. So I guess I might have to reverse Cult of Static and Wes Cottonson. I might have to kind of reverse them because I completely forgot about that album. So I'll have to put that one, you know, where Wisconsin was at. You know, I'll just have to because I have not. I had that album. Just how bad kind of Cannibal left a taste in my mouth. I haven't ever really listened to it.
He's doing an all swappo. All right.
So I might, how y'all talked about it, I might have to go back and actually listen to that album. I just had it because of completionist I am. I might actually have to go back and go listen to it, y'all. So I have nothing really to say about it. So I just need
cool.
to.
Yeah, it's one hell of an album, dude. Definitely go listen to it.
Will do after this video.
All right, cool. Is it my turn?
You'd be up to you now. We're up to you next.
My next pick is going to go to Beneath Between Beyond for the sole purpose of how many plays I have on Breathe. Breathe is the best track on this album. Like, it's fucking amazing track. I love it. I love that track. I love Deliver Me, and I love Anything But This, and I love the fucking feature with Burton C. Bell on this album, too. It gets a lot of plays. Burning Inside. And just this whole album, them including the demo versions of Shadow Zone and of Start a War and of Machine in here was really fucking cool, dude. Like, I love listening to the demo versions in here. And this album is very, very underrated. There's not a lot of people that know about this album. But Spotify, dude, you got to give it to Spotify, dude. They got their shit. They know what the fuck they're doing. Even though they don't pay the artists a lot of money, I fucking use Spotify constantly, dude, like, to listen to music. Half of this music I never discovered till I actually got Spotify. And this is one of the albums that I discovered on Spotify. I never knew about this album before I got Spotify. And I have currently 3,000 plays on Breathe right now. Yeah, dude, it's one hell of a track. It's so good. It's such a great intro. I forget it was in a video game. I can't remember. I think it's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 that it's in. I think. I can't remember. It could have been Need for Speed Underground. I can't remember. But yeah. Dude, this track alone just makes this album the next step up for me, at least. And that's about it. And dude, the EQ again, perfect EQ. So I've been producing a lot of music in the past 2 years, like, producing covers, producing vocal lessons, all that stuff, and with my project, my solo project, I learned a lot about producing music and what it takes to do it and how long it fucking takes to do it. And I have a lot of respect for the producers that produce these albums and make them sound the way they do, because I mean, it's fucking hard to do this, man. Side chaining, EQ, fucking composition, everything. Compression, saturation. Is so much shit that goes into it, dude. It's unbelievable. It's its own fucking language. It really is. It's a whole fucking language that you have to learn. So.
I know. I was listening to something modern recently. I was just thinking, I'm like, if all like the modern production was all gone and the distortion was all gone, what would this band actually sound like live? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if all the electronics and everything was taken out of it, like, what would this band actually sound like live? Like, it probably, it'd be very different. And it wasn't a knock or a bash or something. I listened to a lot of modern bands, but it's definitely like.
Have you seen them live? Have you seen them live?
Static X? No, I never got to see.
They're fucking amazing, bro. Go.
No, go.
I never got to see them once. I only got to see them once.
But I was going to say, what that album is, so that's not like it's not like really an official album. It's like a B-sides. They're all their B-sides and bonus tracks, basically, like all like the B-sides that would have want to be like singles and things like that. But that's kind of like a B-sides compilation type album. Songs that appeared on soundtracks, like you were saying, Need for Speed. I think there might be a song on Dracula or something like that, Dracula 2000 or something like that. But that's actually cool that you ranked that, because we ranked Pighammer and you didn't, so I think we all level out then, because I don't think Clint might have ranked that as a.
Wait, Pighammer? What's that? Is that an album?
The Wayne Stack Pighammer solo album.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think you didn't rank that, but then you ranked the B-Sides album. So, but anyway, so next be going with me, and we're into the top 4. All right, this is my 4th up, so this is my number 4th pick, essentially. Yeah, Cult of Static, and yeah, I actually think this is a really awesome album, really great. Didn't quite crack into my top 3, so we're sitting at number 4, but yeah, I actually absolutely love this album. Clint was saying he kind of forgot about it, or
Jamie, 1 second. There's actually 5 left.
Oh, I have 4 left, but yeah.
Wait, 5? I thought there was only like 2 left.
Well, it's all being whacked out. We're all going to get caught up at the end. But anyway, I was going to try to zoom in on the songs sideways, but that's not going to work. But anyway, yeah, I really love this album. Actually, all the way through pretty much. So I'm gonna go through some of my favorite tracks, quite a few. Try to rip through some. But we got I love Lunatic here. Pounding. There's a nice pounding rhythm. Good opener. Terminal. Great flow with the vocals. Yeah, Wayne's doing really good stuff on Terminal with his vocals, like really good flow on that. High Pure has a nice classic Static X sound. Stingray is a banger. Track 6, Stingray is a banger. You got UMI. Wayne's doing a really cool death vocals and really cool backup instrumentals also on that track on UMI. Isotor. You got track. Where am I going on to? Track number 8. Track number 8, Isotor. Awesome drums on Isotor. Like really cool kind of drums. So I wanted to make note of drums. And yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I made note of that. Skinned. We got Skinned. There's a cool guitar solo on Skinned. So I made note of the guitar solo on Skinned. And yeah, Isotor and Skinned are kind of two kind of bangers back to back. And then, yeah, I did make note of that bonus track, Looks to Kill, as well, Motley Crue. Yeah, I'm not a huge covers guy, but it's a cool cover because it's slightly different, right? So, yeah, Cult of Static is a great album.
All right.
So we'll move along with Clint. You're next. And you only have, how many did you have left? You have 2 or 1?
I thought there was only 7 albums in total.
I think I had 8. I had 8 and 1, 2, 4. Yeah, I have 8.
Yeah, I thought
there's 8 in total.
Do what?
Huh.
There's 8 in total. So
yeah,
Cult
I didn't even
Project.
include the B-sides. You know, the B-side one. I didn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't include that. So I do have like 2 left. You know, I guess, and I'm gonna have to give, you know, second place to Start a War. You know, that's actually the album that kind of really brought me into, like, you know, as a full-time fan. That was when I
one hell of an album.
Like that. I remember whenever I thought it was like the coolest music video, because, like, you know, one of my favorite movies, you know, had, like, you know, a music video on that, you know, when I was younger. I remember watching it was you know, was the music video for Batman Beyond Return of the Joker.
What song was that?
Oh, that's cool.
Don't get me lying, I can't remember at the moment, but it was an awesome music video, and I just remember watching that over and over and over, and just that album just, it seemed like there was you know, everybody was on point. It was aggressive. It had its melodies. It was just, I love that album dearly. And, you know, like Skinny Man, Start a War, Dirt House, just that whole entire album's just amazing.
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, what's great about this is, like, almost all the tracks are memorable. Like whatever, I don't know what it is of how bands can put it together where a track is memorable and it's not, but just something came together, like you said, where the tracks are super memorable. Yeah.
What year did you see Static X live?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
So I saw Deftones in 2006 at the Family Values. 2 years later, I went to Ozfest 2008. Was it 2000? No, it was 2007 Ozfest in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And after that, the next year, I saw Mayhem Fest 2008. And that was the first time I saw Lamb of God. So I saw Static X before I saw Lamb of God.
Okay.
I also saw Machine Head at Ozfest for the first time. And this band called Hemlock was there. Suicide Silence was there with Mitch, of course. Whitechapel was there. I can't remember who. There was a whole bunch of fucking people there, man. One hell of a concert, dude.
I saw Static X at Ozfest. That's why I was wondering if we saw him. He had all the Hustler girls with him and stuff like that.
Yes. Hey, do you remember? Do you remember the bikes, the chicks with the tape on their boobs? They were there. Yeah.
Tara was one of the girls. His wife was one of the girls.
Yeah, I met his wife. I met his wife there. I didn't know that was his wife.
Yeah,
my friend's like, that's his wife. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I didn't know it was his wife either. I met her too, because she was with all the other girls. And after they got off stage and stuff, they're over there, standing at their booth and stuff. And like, in the Ozfest, they always have those like kind of cold showers to help you cool off.
Yes, the mist showers. Yep.
And they were standing at the booth, was like, it's hot. They're talking about how hot it is in Texas. And I just got under that and had all that cold water on me. And they're like, can we hug you so we can cool off? And I had like 6 of those Hustler girls holding on to me.
What's up, Brian?
To cool off. What's up, Brian? And my brother was like, wow, you lucky son of a bitch. You have 6 Hustler girls hanging off with you. I
remember whenever I was, so I would have been, I was 17 years old. So I was 18. I just turned 18. And they were like, how old are you? And I was like, I told her 18. And then they were like, oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. And I was so short. And they were like, you want to hold titties? I was like, yes. so I took a picture. I took a picture with both of them holding their boobs like that. It was pretty cool, dude. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, I got faithful with kids, at that show. After I cooled them off, they were like, thank you. And they're like, you can rest your head right here for a minute. I was like, yay.
Oh, is it my turn? Or is Clint still? Because we kind of went on. We kind of just went on a rant there. I don't know. I'm kind of confused.
I think we're on to you, I believe.
All right, cool. This is getting harder, gentlemen. Fuck me. Next pick's going to Machine. Another album I've never actually sat down and listened to. Was it Machine? No, Project Revolution is the next pick. Sorry, Project Revolution. The sole purpose of Project Revolution, I saw the video, the teaser video, and I was like, holy fuck, this sounds amazing. I remember the one song that stood out to me on the teaser video was Something of My Own. I fucking love that song. I still listen to it. It's a fucking amazing song. All these years, I remember when that shit came out, that was cool as fuck. I have reaction to that, reaction to Hollow, all these years. Accelerate sounded cool on the teaser. My Destruction sounded cool.
Oh, yeah,
another one I never fucking got to sit down and listen to. And me being a music reviewer now, I can't just fucking listen to music whenever I want, because if I listen to music, I have to pretend I've never fucking heard it on the channel if I get it on the channel, and I can't do that, gentlemen. So it's very hard to do that.
You don't want to like act it out. You actually want it to be legit.
Exactly. I want to be surprised. Sorry, but yeah, that's why I'm picking Project Revolution Volume 1 as my 5th pick, I guess, or 5th pick. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We might be a couple ahead, so we might have to take a turn ahead of Clint or whatever, or just. But yeah, okay.
I got it.
That's funny. But next, to cracking into my top 3 if the other two didn't exist, and if my top two didn't exist, this would be my top one because it is damn that good. So Static X, Start of War at number 3 for me, and yeah, it's just fucking great top to bottom, like Clint was saying. Just something that they put it all together. Everything was going on. It just seems like almost every song is memorable in some sort of fashion, in the Static X way of things. But yeah, some of my key tracks I wrote down on here on my little note on the back of the album here was you got Enemy, and that was what I was kind of trying to say. I was like on Enemy there, the opening track, he's got that really hyper scat type delivery on the vocal, like really fast, hyper, right? Really fast. Yeah, so we got Enemy, really kind of that scat stuff, banger. I'm the One, memorable chorus on I'm the One. So that's kind of what we were looking for in songs, just something to remember it by. Start of War, we got just industrial madness. I put on Start of War. It's just industrial banger madness going on there. Wayne goes off on some fries and stuff like that. on Start of War, killer track, obviously. Dirt House, brilliant groove on Dirt House. It almost sounds like it has like this futuristic groove, like this cool futuristic grooves going on. I kind of thought it was kind of brilliant there. And the chorus, what a hook on Dirt House. So Dirt House is a great track. I think it was a single as well, so it did well for them. That was Dirt House. Just in Case is awesome. It's almost like a ballad of sorts. It's almost like a Static X ballad, actually, Just in Case, but I love it. Almost reminds me almost could have been like almost like a Mushroom Head song. Almost when I was listening to it, this almost sounds like it could have been a Mushroom Head song or a Nine Inch Nails song, even-ish. Just in Case, I'll say that again, just like. So if anyone ever wants to listen to that over and kind of like here's like a Mushroom Head vibe or something like that. Mm-hmm. We got Set It Off, brutal vocals on Set It Off, big song, big, deep, pumping, driving bass on Set It Off. Obviously, and then the track I Want to Fucking Break It is just incredible, probably one of the best tracks on the album. Just an industrial thrash banger, like we're thrashing on that. On like if they're actually I know just noticing if I Want to Fucking Break It, if there was no industrials going on, like the keyboard and symphonics and stuff going on, it would be like a thrash metal song. So industrial thrash banger, Break It, or I Want to Fucking Break It. And Night Terrors is awesome, just like a super tight performance on there all around with the band. So yeah, Start of War is definitely kind of an essential Static X album, I feel like. So that's in my top 3. So there we go. Clint, you're up with your number 1, or do you want?
My number 2 is Machine. Is Machine.
Oh.
Machine is great. These are all just amazing albums, we're getting to. And I remember when I heard Machine the first time, it just I was floored with how good it was, how intense, the delivery, that whole album is great too, but yep.
They're at the school. Yeah, this album's pretty aggressive. I think it's a little more aggressive than their first album, probably. Would you say it's a little more heavier? Or?
Yeah, and it has a little more chug, and yeah, a little more faster and a little more raw on the guitar tones, I would say.
Yeah, they definitely added some layers, changing it up from the first album and kind of tightening things up. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit different. It's a little bit more mature.
That's the album that has Cold on it, right? From Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
That's
Cold.
That's my favorite song on the album. That song is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Cold.
That whole album, the Queen of the Damned album, is my all-time favorite soundtrack in this world. That will ever be.
I wish we'd have gotten, like the songs that were like on the music videos with Jonathan Davis doing the vocals on the album.
Yeah.
They have other people.
I wish it was on there too, man. Like a deluxe version of it or some shit. That would have been cool.
I
But
need to get that album because it is great. But I do feel like
I'm gonna buy the vinyl.
Yeah.
If they have a anniversary for the vinyl, I'm gonna buy it because I need it. It needs to be in my collection. I think I have like 30 albums right now. I didn't show you guys the albums yet, have I? But we'll talk about it later. Is it my turn? Okay.
Yep.
I gotta say, man, Machine is getting my 4th pick. This is an album I really didn't get into. It's not really my style, I guess. It's just not really. There's not a lot of good tracks on this album, in my personal opinion. I have listened to this whole album, but it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of there, It's better than the stuff I said before this, obviously. But the fact that I'm picking at number 4 is because I've listened to the whole album, but I didn't really care for the whole album. It's just not really there. Yeah, Black and White was good. This Is Not is really good. Cold is my all-time favorite track on this album. And you had Machine that was decent, but all the other stuff very not there for me, man. I realized that Static is that Wayne and the crew. Well, I think Wayne is he Spanish? Is that why he put like Spanish songs in his music? Like Bienvenidos.
Might have been a Tony. Might have been a Tony.
Diaz Alma Perdida. Yeah.
That's probably
Maybe.
a Tony.
I don't know.
Because I was going to mention that as well on a. Anyway, sorry. Continue. Sorry. Sorry.
You're good, dude. No, that's all I have to say about it. It's not really. It's just not there, dude. It's not my cup of tea. I had 3 albums left after this, right? Or is it 4? 3. Yeah. So we got Shadows and Star War and Wisconsin Death Grip after this. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea, dude. Never really has been.
Interesting. Yeah, if you're going on to me, and I only have 2 left, so I don't know if you have. I don't know how you have 4, but yeah, that's good.
You got 3. I got 3 left.
Oh, because yeah, I'm on my last 2. But anyway, my next one is right along with you guys, with everyone else's picks, with everyone's last round there. But Machine's my number 2. And basically, if number 1 didn't exist, this would be number 1. And actually, I was floating, most of the afternoon. I actually set this as my number 1. I actually had this number 1. I was floating the idea of having it number 1 and doing something a little bit different because, well, if I haven't shown the classic album yet, so that the other album is clearly my number 1. But I was seriously floating the idea of having this number 1, but I could even go as far as saying this is tied for number 1. Like my number 1 and 2 are interchangeable essentially. They're basically go hand in hand. But Machine, for me, this is every track is incredible except for I think the last track's sort of like a write-off or whatever sort of thing. But other than that, this album is super aggressive and heavy. It almost sounds a little bit more mature. They're trying different things in all aspects, like trying heavier stuff in the death metal realm, trying different stuff in the electronic realm. Like it was a little bit, I don't know, it's weird. It's different. I really don't know how to explain how, but it is it sounds a little bit more mature, but it sounds more heavier in spots. And
it reminds me of Fear Factory. It really does. Like this band always reminded me of Fear Factory, and no wonder because the bassist was in Fear Factory. So I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely a classic, essential Fear Factory album. Again, if anyone is watching and if they made it an hour into the video, we're an hour into this. If anyone's this far into the video, they're clearly familiar with the classic Static X album. So I didn't really think I wouldn't really need to beat this into the talk about this too much. My top albums too much, because at this point most people are probably familiar with this album. If you're not, this is anyway. Actually, I will backtrack because Poss, you were saying you didn't really connect with it. You don't really like it a whole lot, so you may not view it as an essential, but I do. So everyone's can make their own opinion decision on that, whether they kind of think it is.
I do have a question for you, JDub, and also to Clint, real quick. Where do you guys place the B-side record in your listing?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, I know there's a few tracks I listened to that off that, and then the Machine demo is cool, but yeah, I don't have it as a like a studio album per se. But
okay,
there's definitely some cool songs off there. I can't remember the cool song. There's still some cool tracks. I could pull it up on my computer here, but when someone else talks, but
I need to go back and listen to it. I can't
Breathe is one hell of a track, dude. Breathe is so good. It's an amazing track. Is it Clint's turn, right?
But yeah, Machine number 2 for me, and yeah, like you were saying, when Cold came out, I just loved the sound on that track. Just that just like that kind of that gothic kind of.
Oh yeah, super gothic track.
Gothic kind of thing going on there.
Sounds like Godhead. It reminded me of Godhead when I heard it. So,
but there's some brutal stuff on here, like Get to the Gone, like Permanence, Structural Defect, right? Machine, like there's some brutal, heavy stuff on here as well. So killer stuff. And yeah, we'll send it off to Clint. I don't know if this is your number 1.
This is my number 1, Shadow Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I have so many fond memories of this album. Like Shadow Zone just was the first Static X album that I 100% I put on repeat, and I would listen to it over and over and
banger after banger. Every single track's a banger, dude.
Shadow Zone, and then when me and my ex-fiance broke up, this has probably been about 10 years ago, I'd put on So and listen to it on repeat. So got me through a lot of that breakup and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why that album means so much to me, because of that
song
one
speaks a lot.
Yeah. And that was the first time you actually got to hear Wayne sound like he was
a ballad. That was a ballad, bro. That was the first Static X ballad I've ever heard. Yeah. I was like, wow, this is awesome.
And I didn't know Wayne could actually sing until I heard that song. And I was like, why did he not do that more after? I don't know. Start a War, a little bit of elements of kind of a little bit of clean vocals, but there wasn't anything just like that. I was like, man, Wayne, you got a good voice. Why don't you utilize it more? Just I could listen to that song over and over, like you were saying, Breed. So I could put on repeat still. It does have ties to me and my ex, but at the same point, it's a killer track. And Shadow Zone, that whole entire track just, it seemed like I've always talked about, lyrics are, amazing. It and Start a War seemed like he actually put the most passion in the lyrics on those 2 albums to me personally.
Yep.
I
couldn't agree more.
Especially Shadow Zone, it seemed like he got through some deep stuff that he needed to get out. And that's why I really connect with that album, because it seems like, personally, Start a War has some really good stuff, but that one just, his words were on par with just amazing album. Mm-hmm. I actually used to have a Shadow Zone shirt. I used to have the Shadow Zone wristbands. I was obsessed with that album. And
if you look at the actual album cover, it's a camera. It's a camera lens. It's basically telling you to look inside yourself, and this is how you see yourself. This is how the world sees you. This is how you see yourself. It's just looking in yourself and finding yourself. That's how I've always seen it.
Yeah, a self-reflect.
There.
Self-reflection. We
That's
actually,
cool.
one of my lyrics, I have a song called Ghost Mara. that's talking about self-reflect.
Oh, you're talking about self-reflection,
But, for another day.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we are on what, top 3? Top 3 for me. Fuck.
Maybe you better do 2, and you better do 2.
I can do 2. Okay, I'll
You
do
better
3
do-
and 2. Yeah. Okay, I'll do 3 and 2. It's fine. So 3 and 2. Number 3. Gonna have to give it to Wisconsin Death Trip because it's not really one that pulls me in. It's not one that pulls you in. Like, I'm not old. I'm only 33, well 32, and for me, Shadow Zone is just, that was my age. That was whenever I was. That was the prime for my age. And me and Clint are basically the same age, right? What, you're 29, 30?
No, I'm 33. I'll be 34 in 3
Oh,
weeks.
you are the same age as me. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. When I was 13 years old, dude, that's the hardest point in my life, man. 13, 14, 15, hardest years of my life. And of course, 25 was also hard too. But yeah, that's another story for another time. Wisconsin Death Trip. I love Push It. I love I'm With Stupid. That's oh my God, that's one of my all-time favorite Static X songs of all time. That's in top 3. As Bled for Days is also in top 3.
Oh, that is a good song.
Or top 5 rather. I don't even know. I didn't care for Love Dump. I didn't like it. I didn't care for I Am. I didn't like Ostigo. Stem didn't really get into me. Swear the Bud is amazing. Fix didn't get into it. Wisconsin Death Trip. I love the scats and the rapping that he does in Wisconsin Death Trip. The Trances in Motion, not really a good track for me. And December, just not really. It's just not there, dude. I don't know. Maybe it'll take a few listens to get into this album, but as far as I'm concerned, this album is not my number 1 or number 2. Speaking of number 2 is going to go to Start a War. The reason why I'm picking Start a War is because this is another album that doesn't have banger after banger. It doesn't have every single track I'll listen to on repeat, like Clint said. The all-time favorite Static X songs, however, is on this album. And my all-time favorite Static X song in the world is My Damnation. That track, oh my God, dude. I would turn up I would turn up my car whenever it gets to that final fucking part, dude. Oh my God. I fucking love it.
Track number 11, 12.
So
Track
good.
number 12.
So good. It's just so good. Such a damn good track. Night Terrors, didn't care for it. Set It Off, didn't care for it. Just In Case, didn't care for it. Skinny Man, not really a fan. Dirt House. I love Dirt House. I love Start a War. I love I'm the One. I love The Enemy. All of them are good, but this album is not banger after banger. I can't listen to it all the way through. And I mean, that just leaves one more. And Jamie, you're up.
Well, it's gonna be no secret. I was just flipping through the book to show it when your pick, but yeah, my number 1 is Wisconsin Death Trip, and yeah, I would have discovered Static X right when this album came out, and I've still never stopped loving it. It's still just as unique and dynamic as it was, as it still is today, as it was back then. And yeah, this is kind of the reason I did put it over Machine. The reason I do slightly have it over Machine is kind of just the diversity, like in all the tracks. Like when you were going through the tracks, I could just go through all the tracks in my head, and just they're all diverse, right? Like Love Dump, Bled for Days, Stem, Fix, Trances in Motion, December. Like these are all just like completely diverse tracks. Like they don't just sound the same.
It's their debut, bro. It's their debut. No one fucking knew about them until this album.
Like, some bands are kind of, I was reading about how some people think Lamb of God are starting to get plateau, or a lot of their stuff are starting to sound the same. On like this, nothing sounds the same. Like from one track to the next, like nothing sounds the same. So the reason I'm ranking this so high still to this day is just how diverse it is from song to song, how unique the songs are. So Yeah, these definitely are like longevity songs that stick with you forever, and great diverse album. Like it's not just like pigeonholed. It's not just like one specific thing. Like it's all over the place. It's all over the place. It's all over the map, and it's great influences. Kind of growing up and hearing this, and it kind of doesn't put you in a box. Like they're not in a box. So when you listen to it, it expands your mind, so you don't become in a box, right? So
Yep.
Static X is great for that. So if anyone kind of understands that correlation, but yeah, Wisconsin Death Trip is my number one. That kind of that classic, iconic Static X. It kind of built the sound, and like when we kind of skimmed through, or when I was going through these albums, you say, this song sounds like a classic Static X song. This song sounds like it could be a classic Static X song, is because this is the classic Static X sound. So it was built on that album, and that album's still my number one, and yada yada, and yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was actually I'm very surprised though. I will say this: I'm surprised I'm the only person who had that as my number one. I'm very shocked by that. So that's definitely a cool reason why we kind of all do this. And yeah, I could have just done this by myself and done a 5-minute video and said what I had to say, but there'd be no entertainment value to that. Like I could have just showed my rankings. The video would be over in 5 minutes, and there wouldn't be any entertainment value to that. It would just be saying my opinions, and it would be over. So that's kind of cool. But bringing you guys on, I like to hear other people's opinions and kind of just have fun with all this. Like, this is all for fun, right? So, yeah, cool stuff. And we'll pass it on to Clint.
Remember, I already did my number one.
Oh, wow. That was your...
That was Shadow Zone.
Oh, your Shadow Zone, right? Sorry, Shadow Zone, right. So we'd be going to Paulus, number one. You're closing out the show.
I mean, dude, I obviously changed the colors, right? So it's Shadow Zone, bro.
Shadow Zone, yeah, right.
It's Shadow Zone. This album, dude, I was 13 years old when I first heard this album, 14 years old, in middle school, getting picked on constantly getting picked on, going through, I had a lot of crushes on women, and I would get teased for I was literally 4'7" in middle school. Okay, I was short as fuck. So I would always get teased for being short. I just go home. What's up? What'd you say?
Oh, sorry. I was mumbling to myself. I was like, did Ulrich do this one? And yeah, Ulrich did this one. I'm sorry. Ulrich,
so, to me, this album right here is the epitome of dealing with peer pressure. There's 3 albums that helped me through peer pressure. There's this one, there's Hybrid Theory, and there's Break the Cycle. Those 3 albums alone are just amazing. The lyrics, amazing. And each one of these albums, just so good, dude. Destroy All, they just makes you want to fucking kill everyone. Makes you want to fucking destroy everything. And you could just take your fucking anger out on this track. Control it. You try to control stuff that you can't control. Fucking love this track. New Pain, always dealing with some kind of new fucking bullshit that comes into your life that tries to destroy your life. Shadow Zone, feeling like you're not part of a group of people that you want to be a part of. Basically, want to be that you're fucking alienated because you're a freak, because you're a geek. I was a fucking geek in middle school and high school, dude. I didn't hang out with the popular guys. I'm friends with popular people, but back then I wasn't popular enough to fucking be in the fucking prep group. Dead World just makes you feel like the world is just fucking just dead. There's no use in. I mean, I went through 2 suicide attempts, guys. So it's huge. When I was like 16, 17, I went through 2 suicide attempts. Because my friend killed himself and because of a girl later on in life. Monster. You feel like a monster when you listen to this track. In my personal opinion, this is a very, very fast-paced track. Monster is just, oh, dude, love this track. I love this because, again, if you want to take your anger out on people when you listen to this shit, man. You feel like you're the only one that gets who you are. You feel like that you are basically the only person that knows what you fucking want in life. No one fucking understands you. Same concept as Shadow Zone. Same concept as New Pain. Same thing. Kill your idols. Killing the people that you worshipped, or like destroying the people, like wanting to beat the fuck out of the people that you thought were the good people in your life, but then they weren't the good people in your life. All in weight. Everything in life takes time. And the lyrics in this song explain that what you're going through right now is not permanent. And that's how I've always seen it. Ostigo Electric. Didn't really get into this track, to be honest. That's the one track I didn't really get into. Pushing me away from me. Yeah. Empty inside. I'm trying. Love that fucking part. It's the best track. One of the best tracks on this album. I love this track so much, dude.
I love
this
how
is about a breakup. It's about a breakup, dude. This is about a breakup. This track right here is just. I didn't have a girlfriend until I got out of high school, but at the same time, I liked a lot of girls in middle school and in high school, and they didn't notice me, and that's why I listened to this. Transmission. This was just it was an instrumental, right? It was an instrumental track, and then feeling invincible after listening to this album. Every single time I would listen to this album, I felt like I could conquer the world. Literally, like every single fucking time. I would play this album over and over again, playing Need for Speed Underground, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, all that old shit where the Xbox you could play fucking CDs and shit. I put the CD on the Xbox so I could play games to like Halo and stuff like that. And dude, this album it's top tier, dude. This is a legendary fucking album, dude. Every single song is hearted by me on Spotify, including Ostigo Electric. It's just. I have nothing else to say about this album, dude. I really wish that they would return to this sound because I feel that this was their prime. This was their prime sound that they had. It's so killer, dude. This album, I get so emotional talking about this album, man. I've been through fucking hell in my life, and it's just, oh my god, I love this album. It's amazing.
I'm feeling the same way, bro. I mean, I wish you were right here. We'd hug it out right now like bros. Because that album, you exactly said everything I was going to say. Because we're on the same page on that album. Exactly. I'm even tearing up after what you said, man. Yeah. Fuck. It's
hard. Dude, yeah. It's so hard to fucking talk about it because, like, all the shit we went through. I'm assuming you were also an outcast in middle school and high school, right?
I'll talk about that after the video.
Yeah, no. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not fucking afraid to say it. I was an outcast.
I'm not either. Like, that's one of the reasons I haven't. Like, if you heard me, like, when we did the last albums, like, when me and Jamie do the In Flames ranking eventually, I'll probably be tearing up quite a bit. I've had, you were saying, you had 2 suicide attempts. I've had 18 of them.
Holy fuck, dude. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're fucking still here with us, dude. I really hope you're better. I hope you're doing better, a lot better than what you have been in the past. Like, and I'm praying for you, dude. I'm a Christian, right? I believe in God. So, I mean, I'm praying for you. I really hope that you never have to go through that fucking bullshit again. Because people can be fucking cruel, dude, in this world. And I know that firsthand. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah. I was bullied a lot too. I was bullied a lot too. I mean, like, I'll get more into that later, but just know you got friends right here, people. Like, if you're watching this now, in the future, whenever, you're feeling alone, message any of us. We will be there. We will be your shelter. We will be your shield. Or I'll be your shield and your sword. I will fight through hell and back for you. As a fan, as a, this is what we love about metal. We're connected. We're united. Let's put out those fires with our shields and fight with our swords and aim them. And
I'm not afraid to say this, man. Every single time I listen to, I can't remember fucking. Is it called Echelon? Not Echelon. It's on Break the Cycle. It's the best track on the album. I can't fucking remember what it is. Let me look.
Stained?
I gotta look for it. Hang on.
It's been a while.
Epiphany. Every single time I listen to Epiphany, I cry. I'm 33 years old. Every single fucking time I cry. This song. All right. That's a story for another time, man. Obviously, when we do Stain. If we do Stain. But holy fuck, dude. I love Stain. And there's so many people that fucking hate Stain. It really pisses me off. But at the same time, yeah. Static X, Shadow Zone is my number one. And that's the final thing.
Cool, awesome, yeah. And yeah, and actually, I probably won't tell the big full story, but yeah, when Wayne died, it kind of inspired me to kind of start living life again. I started just going to concerts and just started living, just like redlining life in a way, like just started just traveling and going to concerts because after he died, he kind of lit a spark. He ignited a fire in me because I realized I'm never going to get to see Wayne live, and I never wanted to have that feeling ever again. So I started going to every concert I could to see every band I could, every person live that I could, because I never wanted to ever have that feeling ever again of not seeing a guy that I wanted to see live and I never got to, like a guy that I grew up with, you know what I mean, watching and seeing on music videos, and I never got to see him live. And then when he passed, it kind of just really lit a fire under me to say, hey, I got to go see all these guys before I don't get this off, before something like this happens, before I don't get these chances. So I started going to see every concert, every guy I could. I started going to see Vinnie Paul, hell yeah, before he passed. So for those reasons, right? It's like good thing I was doing all this kind of stuff. But yeah, he lit a spark and fire under my ass. And it's unfortunate that his passing had to do that, but I used it as a positive, as opposed to like a negative. Like I was like, I don't ever want to feel like this again, of where I felt like I missed out on seeing him live. Where I'm like, I don't ever want it to feel like this again. So I just started going to see every concert, every band I could. So thank you, Wayne, for lighting a spark under my ass to fucking get out of the house and start doing shit, and you know what I mean, that sort of stuff, right? Because you don't ever want to say, oh, I wish I could have done that. I wish I did that. I wish I would have seen him live. I wish I would have seen that band live. So yeah, he lit a spark under my ass for sure.
That's good, man. That's really good.
And it was unfortunate that a passing that had to happen, but sometimes that does have to happen, right? Like where you have to do some self-reflecting and deep thoughts and things like this, right? So it's unfortunate, but it really was when Wayne Static passed, and I'm like, I never got to see Wayne pass, and I was so sad, and it disappointed me so much. Like I was so distraught when he had passed, and I realized I never got to see him live. I was so distraught. It broke me so much that I was like, this can never ever happen again. So
yeah, when Wayne passed away, I was hoping they would release like there was a band that Wayne did before Static passed, before he started before Wayne started Static X. He had a project with the singer from Smashing Pumpkins.
Really?
They had a project, before Static X was a thing. And I was hoping they would release that. Apparently, there's an EP at least recorded, I think I heard correctly. But it was like, it was way back, like, late, like early 90s is when it was. And Wayne was doing background vocals and guitar in that band.
So I do have to say a few things before we go. For one thing, man, JDub, thank you for fucking having me again. I'm so sorry it's been so long. I just have to say, dude, without music, I would not be able to deal with the shit that happens in my life, especially this year. I don't know, Clint, if you've heard this through Jamie or not, but Jamie knows what I fucking went through this year. I told him, dude, I had my kid this year at a military hospital, right? And he came out code purple, which is basically almost died when he was born. So he spent 41 days in the hospital with seizures. And dude, this is one of the hardest years I have ever been through in my entire life. Like seriously, those days were so long, dude. And thank God right now he's doing well now. But I've been listening to a lot of music, dude, and this channel, this not only Jamie's channel, but my channel alone and his channel. I really hope that Jamie's channel succeeds. I share his shit any fucking time that I fucking can. I really want both of you guys in my Discord so that we can talk about stuff, you know, when we need something, when we need each other. But dude, I love you, man. Jamie, thank you for fucking having me, dude. I mean, no homo, dude, but I fucking love you, dude. Thank you so much. Like this is fucking amazing. Like to be able to talk about shit like this and not have to worry about being judged about it. You know, music has helped me through my life, and that is why I have chose music to be my passion in life. To make music, to review music, to fucking podcast music with you, Jamie. Whatever, you know, cover music. It is the passion in my life. And there used to be another passion called World of Warcraft, but my friends basically, come here, buddy. Come here. Come on, bring him here. Bring him here. World of Warcraft used to be my passion in life, okay? And whenever I quit World of Warcraft, my friends got really mad that I quit World of Warcraft. But music now has become my passion, and also my family is another passion in my life. And this is my wife, and this is my son, Maseo.
Oh,
Really cute boy you got there, and thank God that he pushed through those health issues that he was having early on, and yeah, that was really hard to see. Those, I guess, pictures you were like, you know, when you first had some issues going on and things like that, and had to update your friends and family, right, what was going on, and that was a really tough thing to read and hear about. And I have no experience with any of that thing, so I can't offer any sort of help. I was like, oh my God, man, like.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, Jamie. That's how bad it was. I wouldn't wish it on my worst fucking enemy in my life. It was just a rough fucking year, dude. I can't wait till this year is fucking over. I really can't. And I hope that next year is going to be a way better year, and that way he'll be healthy. And I mean, we're taking him to a neurologist when we get to the States. So, but yeah, it's just been a really rough year, dude. And I'm sorry that I haven't been on the show in a while, and it's just.
Hey, no, man, your baby's right there. He's alive. He's happy. He's breathing. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, man.
You want to say hi? Come on, say hi. Nah, you don't want to talk. But yeah, that's it, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for the guests for showing up. Thanks for anyone that watches in the future or live and all that kind of good stuff. Subscribe, mosh, and see you later. We'll wave our goodbyes and get out of here. And thanks for guests for doing this and showing up and talking about Static X. Again, I could just rank all this stuff by myself and do a short video in 5 minutes and say, this is my ranking, boom, boom, boom. But there would be no entertainment value to that. It would just be done in 5 minutes. And again, there's no entertainment for that for Static X fans. So if a Static X fan stumbles across this in the future, we got 3 other people on the video screen to talk about a band we all love, and just to kill time, to pass time for some fun. There we go. Like you were saying, music music probably kept me alive too. I'm not going to say I'm suicidal or nothing like that, but without music in life would suck. So life would suck without music. I'll definitely tell you that much. Life would suck without music. And anyone watching, I'm sure, would agree with that. Life would suck without music. So it's gotten everyone through some difficulties. That's for sure.
I feel like that on a Christian's perspective, I feel like God brought music into this world for a reason. That's how I've always felt it. Even fucking black metal, dude. Even fucking black metal. Like, I listen to black metal now. I used to not listen to black metal because I used to think that I would go to hell listening to it. But I look at some of the lyrics in black metal, and it actually has meaning. And I become a really big fan of black metal, you know, doing my content. Demon Borgir is fucking amazing, dude. Like, that band is fucking amazing. I have no words how amazing that band is. And I hope that one of these days we can get on this shit and fucking talk about it. But yeah.
I'll definitely be open to Demon Borgir. Yeah, I'm fairly open. I'm fairly familiar with every Demon Borgir. I'd probably just in Sortu Diablo, and I think
I would have to re-listen to everything, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But there's just a couple I would need touching up on. But other than that, anyway, thanks for watching. Anyone who watches in the future and all that good stuff, subscribe, Mosh. See you later, and we'll get out of here.
All right, see you, Jamie.
Yeah, see you.